Welcome to your kgoe orientation. Make sure that you can see the screen. Get a piece of paper, number it from 1 to 10. There will be a quiz that will follow this orientation. And during this presentation, if you have a question, write it down. You may come and ask me later, or you may ask your teacher later. This is a great way to take notes, and if there's any moment where you need to stop and write something down, just ask your teacher to pause or go back. You've got some flexibility in how quickly this will go. So to begin, kgoe is in the library. It's a lovely place for me because I work in the library and it's easier for me to get to. But I want to remind you that the library is a quiet place to be. So as soon as you walk into the library doors in the morning as well as in the afternoon, please make sure to walk in quietly. In the morning and in the afternoon, when you come for practice, you will place your backpacks by the courtyard door, not in front of the door to the library or the shelves. We don't want anybody to trip. We would hate for someone to hurt themselves, and we just want to make sure that people can get to where they need to get to. Before practice or before the actual show, please do me a favor. Find something quietly and productive to do. Please don't go straight into the kgoe area unless you have permission. There are lots of things back in there that cost lots of money, and I would hate for something to break and your parents have to pay for it. So please do not go in the kgoe area unattended, because if something fell and broke, I would have to assume that that person who was in there did it, and I don't want to assume that. So always ask before you ever come into the kgoe area. And back to make sure you do something productive. There's lots to do in the library. One of the things that you're going to be working on is a special report. It is a great time, if we are not ready for you to start our practice, then find something quietly to do. There's books, there's magazines, there are all kinds of resources available. So use your time wisely when you come in. In the morning, you must arrive at 7:35. If the clock in the library, the digital clock, says 7:36, then you are late. Being punctual is a life skill. There are times in your life where you have to be somewhere or you have to do something on time. This is a great life lesson to learn, because if you pay your bills late or if you show up to work late, you might not have what you really need. And that includes money. So this is a great time to learn it. I know it's hard. There are no excuses for being late. I've heard them all. And if I don't set a limit on what time you need to be here, then you'll show up whenever. And maybe someone's sick. They're not going to come to school that day. And how will I know if we keep waiting around? So I know that might seem early. I know it might seem hard, but you are not expected to be here every day. You are only expected to be here a certain number of days, and we'll talk about the schedule in just a moment, but it is important that you are here at 7:35. And I would hate to say this, but I have a feeling that someone in the class may be late. It happens. I completely understand it. Maybe someone in the family wakes up late. Maybe the alarm doesn't go off. Maybe there's a flat tire outside. Maybe the crossing guard doesn't let you cross the street soon enough to get in. Maybe someone's just going really slow in front of you. So here's my suggestion. Set your alarm extra early on the days that you are scheduled to be here for kgoe. Yes, it may happen. So if it does happen, I want you to know it doesn't mean you can't ever be on. The first time you're late, you're going to go to class, and you still get to be on the next day. We don't want you to be sad. I do understand if you are. It's hard. And you've looked forward to it. Those of you who have been here since kindergarten have looked forward to being on kgoe for quite some time. You're welcome to stay and watch the rest of the broadcast, but I'd like to ask you a favor. Please do not beg Ms. Carpenter, Ms. Kgoe, or I to be on. We set this rule to be fair to everyone. And if we don't set this to be fair to everybody, then who's to say I can't let someone I like on? And someone I don't like on the next, not that I don't like anybody, but you know what I mean? I have to be fair. And if someone walks in one day, maybe Sue walks in one day late, and I say, it's okay, Sue, and then Oh, maybe Tim walks in another day and he's not nearly as late as Sue, but I don't let him on. How could that ever be fair? So I have to be fair, and this is the time I set. So please do me a favor and try to be here on time. The second time you're late, you still get to be on. The third time you're late, you still get to be on. So we're giving you lots of chances. I just want to make sure you're here on time so that we can get the show started and underway. And it's so important that you're here. We want you to be here because we need you. We need everybody to be there as a team together, which is why we practice, so that we can all look good together. And that's what I want, you to look good. So if we get that practice in, we're all going to look great. Practice. You must attend practice as well in the afternoon. We have practice every day, and that practice is going to be at 2:20. You may want to write that down. I know it says blank, 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 but practice is at 2:20 every day. So here's my suggestion. If you have a doctor appointment, if you're leaving early for the day, now that kgoe is in the afternoon, you will not get to be at practice. You won't be at practice, so that means you won't be on kgoe the next day. So it's really, really, really important. The days that you are scheduled to be on, you put it on your calendar at home. Let everybody in your home know that you're scheduled to be on kgoe so that you don't make scheduled appointments during that time. Now, who's to say you're not going to get sick? And yes, that's an unfortunate part of life. But I will say this, if you're sick, don't show up. We don't want you getting everybody else sick. There are some opportunities that you can work around. Maybe whoever takes your place, you can take their place later on. And sometimes you're just sick, and kind of like if you're sick for a field trip, you don't get to make it up. So try to be well, take care of yourself on the days that you're scheduled. And if something happens, maybe there's a way to work around it. You can talk to your teacher about it. But practice again is at 2:20 every day that you are scheduled. So make sure to let your parents know so they don't schedule doctor appointments during that time. And one more thing about practice. Maybe you did not finish an assignment, and so you have to go to study hall in the afternoon. If you have to go to study hall and you miss practice, it counts the same. You still don't get to be on kgoe. So I want to make sure that everybody understands that. And you guys can pause here for a moment if you'd like to and talk about this with your teacher if you have any questions. And if you have any questions that you need me to answer, write them down. And then when we meet, we can talk about it, and hopefully I can answer some more. So again, you must be in practice or you do not get to be on kgoe the next day. Again, I want you to look good, and practice helps you look good. This is a great opportunity to see how it is to work as a team. There are two teams. There's the broadcast team. Those are the people that are on air. And then there's the tech team. This is where we get to see how we all need each other to make the job work well. There is a chart, and the chart has everyone's names on there. So that way we don't have to figure out who gets to do what job. Your teacher gets to select who's on. And every day, it's really helpful if you know what your job is. So we don't have to wait and try to figure out who's on first and second and third, if you know what I mean. So make sure to know what your job is. So as soon as you come in, we can all be ready. But we trade jobs just so that it's fair for everyone. This is kind of an idea about what your chart looks like. At the very top, it has what the jobs are. And at the very left-hand side, it has the dates of when you're on. So if it's September 4th and you're the anchor, make sure you know what your job is so when you come in, you're ready to get in your spot. This is what the anchor script looks like. And the best part about the anchor script is you don't have to come up with anything. All you have to do is read from the teleprompter. And that's what one of the jobs is on the tech team, is to be in charge of the teleprompter to help the anchors read. You could probably say it in your sleep, but here's what it looks like. You probably already know it. If there are dots, then that's where you fill in the blank. We try to have everything up there ready for you. So if you ever have any questions, just ask us. But make sure that you don't say today is day of the week. You say today is Wednesday or whatever day it is. The weather person is in charge of their script, and they take home a piece of paper. I'll show you what it looks like in a second. And it's your responsibility to get the weather and fill it in the morning of. You could do it in the afternoon, but sometimes the weather does change. The best place to go is weather.com, but I know a lot of people have an app on their phone that you can go in there and look it up. Please do not be late because you're looking for the weather. get to school on time, and then if you haven't finished it, then there's lots of computers in the library to help you finish. Some of the things that you will include are the highs with Fahrenheit and Celsius, the sunrise and the sunset, and on weather.com, the cool thing is you don't have to figure out the Celsius, it figures it out for you. And by the way, not a good idea to wear the color green. And the reason is that we have a green screen and sometimes it blends in and it just doesn't work out so well. So please do not wear green on the day that you are on for weather. And here's what the weather script looks like, just some of it. And on the library webpage, there's a kgoe link that has all of these. So if you have any questions or you want to see what it looks like, or maybe you forgot it, you can always print it out from home. Every single person gets to create a special report. So we will be working together on Fridays during your scheduled time to come in during each class. And you will get to use technology to make some sort of special report. There are some ideas here: interview with a teacher, or with a parent, or with someone who you think is special and has some information to share. You can create a book trailer, or maybe you can share how to do something maybe that other people don't know how to do. And we will be discussing some other ideas of what you can do also. If you do an interview, be thinking of 3 to 5 questions you'd like to ask somebody. If you'd like to do a book trailer, think about a favorite book that you have read. It can be from when you were young or not too long ago. We'd like our audience to be kindergarten all the way to 5th grade, so be thinking about something that's interesting to you. The technology that we will begin using is Movie Maker, but might be leaning into some other technology pieces as well. So our equipment, as I mentioned, is expensive. Over in the kgoe area, there are 5 microphones. There's a video and an audio mixer. There's 2 computers, 2 cameras, and a TV monitor. So it's really important when you go over to the kgoe area to be very careful. Please don't move around. Go straight to your spot. When you're looking at what everybody else is doing, there's lots of cords, and it's certainly easy to trip and possibly knock something down. So it's really, really, really important to be careful of that equipment and be aware of how much is there, and also how careful you need to be when you're over there. So one of the jobs of the technology or the tech team is computer producer. And this is what the teleprompter looks like. So this person is in charge of hitting the button on the screen that says pause, and then it will say resume once it's paused. And when it's in the pink, that is when the anchors will read it. So it will scroll down, and then as the anchors begin reading it, they'll wait until it's in the pink, and they'll continue to read it. You see A1 and A2 to the left of the words, and that just means anchor 1 and anchor 2. It doesn't mean that the anchor 1 is better than anchor 2. It just means that's the way we are signifying the 2 anchors. So just because you're anchor 2 does not mean you're not as good as anchor 1. It just means we're trying to figure out the difference between the 2. I could say A and B, but A1 and A2 has been something we've used. Here is the audio and the video mixer. There's lots of buttons on here, lots of knobs. Looks like it's fun to touch and turn. But really, really, really important, do not touch any of these things until you have learned what they are for or how to use them. Because if something gets turned the wrong way, we don't have sound. And if we don't have sound, kgoe is not going to work very well. So there are days that you haven't probably heard kgoe very well, and it's probably because something hasn't been turned up. This button over here on the right says main, and anytime this is pushed up all the way, that means every single TV can hear. So whoever has their TV on in the classroom, they can hear whatever anyone else is saying. So if you are the audio video mixer, it's really important that you make sure this main button is off when we are finished, because otherwise somebody might hear something and somebody might say something, and it's happened before. It hurts someone's feelings. So please do me a favor and make sure you're paying attention to what you're doing as an audio video mixer, and make sure to turn off the main when we're done. And here's the camera. There's actually two cameras. One always stays on the anchors. This one is for the weather person, as well as for the special report or any other reports that we have on people that are live. And one more thing about the camera, this person is the one that starts the complete show. They count us down to get us started, and anything else that needs to happen, they help out with it. So the camera person still has plenty to do to help us go through the show. These are the microphones, and every single person has a microphone that you wear behind your head and over your ears. For some reason, people like to put it on top of their head, over their head, but it actually fits on your ear like this on either side of your ear and all the way back behind it, so it rests on your ear and then back behind your head, not over the top. So when you put the headphones on, you put it behind your head. Something that's really important is no talking or blowing into the microphone. And the reason that you don't want to do that is because if somehow the audio mixer is on, then people can hear. And it's happened plenty of times before. And we want to use our life skills and our personal best. So as a reminder, when you put your microphone on, please remember, don't blow or talk into it, because there's really no special speaker that you hear from it. The speaker is actually through the TV, and that's the only speaker that you will hear. So just be careful about talking or touching or blowing into the microphone so that you don't hurt the audio mixer's ears also, because they wear headphones and that would go straight into the ears, and we don't want that. So just as a little reminder, when you put your microphone on, it goes around your ears and the back of your head. And please don't blow or touch or talk them into the microphone. And then as soon as you're done, place the mic neatly back on the table when you're finished. The weather microphone is in a different spot, but as soon as you come in, you'll find it. And then as soon as you're finished, then we'll put it back in its box. It has a special place it goes. And one more tip. When you are an anchor or reporter, you are on the broadcast team, remember to speak slowly and clearly and enunciate, meaning speak slowly enough so that people can understand what you're saying. If you talk really fast, people won't be able to understand what you are saying. So it's really important to talk slowly so that people can hear you. And when you first do it, it sounds kind of weird, but it actually turns out to work pretty well, and it actually sounds better than you would imagine. As a reminder, one thing that I am always looking for are life skills out of every single student, and I love to compliment students for doing this, as I know Miss Scully and Miss Carpenter are. And by the way, Miss Grindle, myself, Miss Carpenter, and Miss Scully are all part of kgoe. And sometimes we're not all three of us there. We'd like to trade off so that we can kind of all help each other. But just so you know, all of us are there to help, and we want this experience to be fantastic for you because we all enjoy it. And I truly enjoy participating in this and working with all of you fifth graders because it makes it so much more fun. But I want to remind you that I'm looking for personal best as Miss Carpenter and Miss Scully are. So when you're in kgoe, it is something to look forward to, but it's also something that I don't want you to take for granted. Really important to be patient, to be serious, to show teamwork, and we also want you to enjoy the experience. But we are looking for students that are really trying and really care. Those students that come in and they're playing or they're not doing the right thing, I just want to remind you that you will get a reminder and then you may be asked to leave and not participate. So because you are a role model for every single student in this school, we expect a lot from each one of you. Every single moment that you walk into the library and are participating, you may not know it, but every single student is looking at you and they're paying attention to what you're doing. Because if you're doing it, they may think they can do it as well. And I'm hoping it's more of something to look up to as a good thing, as opposed to something that's not such a great thing. So as a reminder that if we see you doing something that isn't positive or it's not helpful and it's not being part of a team, then we'll give you a warning, and then after that, we may ask you just to leave, and you may not get to be a part of it anymore. So just so you know, not every school participates in kgoe or the broadcast the way that we do, but we like every single fifth grader to practice and to participate in it. And it is something that is a great life experience because some of you may want to do this, and it's real world stuff. So we want you to enjoy it, and we want you to have fun with it, but we also want you to show personal best. And the reason we want you to show personal best is we also give out awards at the end of the year, and I'll speak more about that. As a reminder, at the very end of the school year, every single class, every single student in fifth grade gets to share what they will always remember. And so here's part of a script that will help you, and your teachers will share this with you later, but you will be recorded and we'll play it out on kgoe. So be thinking of something that's special to you, something that you will always remember about kgoe and not kgoe, Great Oaks, and the teachers that helped you, and the special memories that you've had. So that's something that you get to look forward to as well at the end of the school year. But we do give out awards, and that kind of goes back to showing those life skills. We're looking for students who are good team players, that are working well with other people, that are trying but not overly trying, that aren't getting in everybody's business, that aren't trying to over teach everybody else, but just do as much as they possibly can to help everyone. And we make notes, we write down little reminders, especially if you're not there. So please know that we're watching and we're paying attention to those students who are just excelling above and beyond. So just as a reminder, we're paying attention, we are noticing, and we will give out awards, usually 2 for every class. You try to do a boy and a girl, but you never know. Just depends on how students come in and how they show personal best. All right, so now we have a quiz. Hopefully you've already numbered your paper from 1 to 10. The answers will be A, B, or C. So when you're writing down your answers, you don't have to write down the whole answer, just write down the letter A, B, or C. If you have a question right now that you need answered, you may stop, pause the video, and then you may ask your teacher any questions, or you can even ask me before you take the quiz. My expectation is that everyone gets 100 because if you were paying attention to any of this, you will know the answers. But just as a reminder to make sure that you're aware of all of these things, because if we didn't say anything, then you may not know what's expected of you. And just like when you go to your class the first day, your teachers go over their rules and expectations. So we just want you to know what's expected of you when you come into kgoe. And as soon as your class begins, we'll talk more about it, and we'll talk more about our special reports. Okay, so here we are. Our first question, sorry. I don't know what happened there. Okay, number 1, where do I put my backpack? That's when you come in the morning and when you come in the afternoon before practice. A, between the bookshelves. B, in front of the kgoe area. C, by the courtyard doors. I know you can't visualize it, but just think about the library and think about where would be the best place, most out of the way place to put it so that people are safe. Number 2, what am I responsible for as weather person? A, nothing. B, getting temps and information before the broadcast. C, let my parents do it for me. And now at any point in time you need to pause or rewind, you are welcome to do that. Number 3, what is the first minute that I am too late to be on kgoe? A, 7:31. B, 7:36. C, 7:46. 4, what happens if I am too late for kgoe? What happens if I am late for kgoe? A, go to the office. B, go to class and get another chance. C, read a book in the library. Think about the one that makes the most sense. Number 5, what is expected of me in the kgoe area? A, respect, patience, personal best. B, nothing. C, moving around kgoe to see every job and learn all jobs each and every day. 6, how do I get to choose my jobs? A, I get to do the same job every day. B, I get to do any job I want. C, I get to trade jobs based on a chart so that it's fair for everyone. 7, when can you come into the kgoe area? A, whenever I come into the library. B, as soon as everyone is here. C, wait for Miss Carpenter, Miss Grindle, Miss Scully, or another teacher to be ready. 8, what happens if I miss practice? A, I still get to be on kgoe the next day. B, I do not get to be on kgoe the next day. C, I never get to be on kgoe again. 9, what should I do while I'm waiting to begin kgoe? A, work on special report, look for a book, read a book or magazine or research. No games. B, walk around the library and talk to everyone that you can see. C, sit in the chairs and talk so that everyone in the library can hear you. 10, as the special reporter, you are responsible for A, nothing. B, using technology to create a special report. C, sing a song. So if you need to pause here and go back to any of the questions, feel free to do that. If you're ready to go through the answers, let's get started and I will explain some as we go. 1, where do I put my backpack? The answer is C, by the courtyard doors. Hopefully you got that right. You might want to check it or put an X or circle it if you, or even write it down. And if you don't know where that is, please ask us when you come into the library. The reason it's not right in front of the kgoe area is because lots of times people are coming and going, and between the bookshelves, people need teachers, students, all kinds of people need to get to the bookshelf. So please make sure it's by the courtyard doors, not right in front of them, so people can come and go from there as well. And not right as soon as you walk into the library doors. It's those back doors that go into the courtyard. 2, what am I responsible for as weather person? B, getting temps and information before the broadcast. It can be at home, it can be at school. As long as you get there early enough to get it done, happy about that. But please do not come into the library saying, I didn't know I was supposed to get the weather. Can't tell you how often that happens. It's your responsibility as a weather person to find out that information, to share it. And if there's anything happening interesting in the weather, you are welcome to add that into the script as well. Number 3, what is the first minute that I am too late to be on kgoe? 7:36. If you have not written down the number 7:35 or even 7:36 and shared it with your parents, really important that you do that. Because if you tell your parents you're going to be late, but you don't tell them what late is, then they won't know. Now that you're 5th graders, you are expected to be responsible for more and more things, and this is one of them. So really important, tell your parents, if I'm not there by 7:35, I cannot be on. And if you don't tell your parents and your family that, or help them get up and go in the mornings that you're on kgoe, then you're not helping yourself. So help yourself by helping the people that live with you so that they know how important it is, and let them know how much you care about it. Maybe tell them you'll do something for them. Who knows? Whatever it is, ask your family to be aware and write it on a calendar so they know too, because everybody has their own stuff going on. Make sure that they're aware of it. All right, number 4. What happens if I am late? Oops, sorry. What happens if I am late for kgoe? I know it's going to be very disappointing if you are late, and I understand that. But please know that I am trying to be fair to all of you by setting a specific time. It wouldn't be right if I said for one person, it's okay, you can come at 7:40, and another person, you have to be there at 7:30. And I could just pick any time and choose it. That would be the least fair of anything. So please know that I'm not doing it, and we're not doing it as a punishment. We're only doing it to help ourselves get started, because if we keep waiting and waiting for everybody to get there, we won't get in a good practice. And again, it's about you looking good. So yes, go to class, but if you are having a hard time dealing with it, and I understand because there have been many students that have had tears, so if you need to go to the restroom and wash your face or just take deep breaths or whatever it is, but please understand it's not anything against you. It's just that I want to be fair, and we want to be fair to everyone. So please don't go to the office. Please don't call your parents and tell them to come pick you up. I don't want it to ruin your day. One student that came in actually said, is there anything that I can do to help? Which was awfully nice, and he just wanted to watch. So just understand, you won't be the first, you won't be the last. Everyone that has come in that has been late has not been happy about it, but they have survived. So I understand we want you here, but if you're late, you still get another chance. So remember that. Number 5, what is expected of me in the kgoe area? A, respect, patience, and personal best. That's all we're looking for. And please, when you come into the kgoe area, make sure that you are not moving all the way around, because when you're moving around, you are going to possibly trip over some wires, and that would not be a good thing. Number 6, how do I get to choose my jobs? I get to trade jobs based on a chart so that it's fair for everyone. The reason we do this is so that people don't argue over their jobs, and it's fair and everybody gets a chance to do all the different jobs. So just know when your name is on there, that's the job you're going to do for that day. Number 7, when can you come into the kgoe area? Please always wait. I know you're going to be excited. You want to go straight in. You want to get started, but sometimes we're not ready. Maybe there's something else going on in the library. Maybe we're working on something and it's just not finished. But please do not walk directly in until Miss Carpenter, Miss Schooley, or I invite you in. Or again, please just come and ask us and say, is it okay? Is it time to come in? Number 8, what happened? Oops, sorry again. Number 8, what happens if I miss practice? B, I do not get to be on kgoe the next day. So please understand that if something happens for whatever reason and you don't come, maybe you forget, you just go out to recess, or you have study hall, or your parents come pick you up for a doctor's appointment, or even if you went home sick, if you come in the next morning, you are not going to be on kgoe. And the entire reason for that is not to be hard on you. It's just that you didn't get a chance to practice. So someone will fill in for you, and then the time that they fill in for you and they're supposed to be on, maybe you guys can agree upon that time. And again, we can revisit how we can reschedule you back in, but understand that sometimes when you miss, you just don't get a chance to make it up. So please, please, please understand how important it is to come to practice. Please do not bring your entire family in to watch you the next day if you miss practice. That happened one year. The student came in, her whole family, and she didn't get to be on, and it was a very awkward experience. So please, please, please do not tell me that you did not know you had to be at practice, because you must be at practice. And again, it's at 2:20. You may want to write that down and write down practice 2:20 so that you know and you share that with your parents. Because if you don't tell them, they won't know that either. They may not be paying attention because they've got other things to think about. Now that you're 5th grade, you got to be even more responsible. Number 9, what should I do while I'm waiting to begin kgoe? A, work on your special report, look for a book, read a book or magazine, or research. No games on the computer. And the reason I say this is because a lot of times students will come in and they'll wait quietly in the chair, but it's not so quietly. I've had many students race in to try to get to the seat as fast as possible over in that little area where people sit in those chairs. Please come in, find something quietly to work on and do. Every time students come rushing into the library and don't have anything to do, it ends up not being a good situation. So please make sure that you know you need to have something to do. A book, a magazine, just open it up and read it and look at it. And please don't even sit in the chairs that are over by the courtyard doors. Sit at a table, sit somewhere else, because if you do that, then it's more likely that you'll start talking and then it won't turn into a good experience. So make sure you have something to do while you're waiting in the morning as well as in the afternoon for practice. Number 10, as a special reporter, you are responsible for B, using technology to create a special report. I know you might want to sing a song, but you don't have to do that. All you have to do is create a special report, and we'll spend plenty of time talking about that. And in the meanwhile, I have a link on the library webpage under tutorials about book trailers that you can go and watch how to use Movie Maker. That's one thing that we're going to start working on and transfer over and see what else we can make with special reports. One thing that we started to do is create DVDs, actually burn DVDs of all of your days that your class is on kgoe. It's $8, and you will receive this form. It's also on the library webpage that you can get to and print out. And at the end of your class's scheduled time, Miss Schooley will help and burn those DVDs, and you will get one so that you will have special memories of your Great Oaks moments on kgoe. So I hope you all got an A+. We're really looking forward to working with all of you. Really enjoy this experience. I know Miss Carpenter and Miss Scully do as well. And we want you to have a great experience. So just understand that we have some expectations. Again, being on kgoe is a privilege. It's not something that has to happen if the life skills are not going on with it, and especially if we don't see personal best. So please understand that we are expecting personal best every single time you walk in the library and every single time you walk in kgoe area. Here's some more ideas for special report. We have used Animoto in the past, and Photo Story is a neat thing. We will be using lots of technology with all kinds of cameras and even Samsung tablets that we're going to get for the library. And Movie Maker has been a great method for creating lots of different things. So we'll be playing with that a lot also. So just be thinking about some things that you are interested, that you like to do, and that will make it even more fun. So we are done. If you have any questions or think of anything that you need to ask, or if you need to go back and review this, you're welcome to do that, and you can come and ask me any single time that you would like to. I look forward to working with all of you, and I will see you very soon to get started on kgoe.